Hello, everybody. Today we are doing fish themed outfits for mermay. Well, not necessarily outfits, they're more so garments, but um, they're all things based off a fish. First up is this beautiful black and purple seahorse. My favorite color is purple, which is why I chose this one. Um, there were a few other cool looking ones, but I really loved this one. And so you'll see that I'm just sketching out the body, trying to get it nice so that way the outfit can look normal and not be like warped in any way, because I didn't want it to be warped and that to be the main focus of, oh, this outfit looks weird, but not because of the design itself, just because it was not drawn properly. Um, I really love this design. It's a suit with a hat to go along with it. And so it's a very beautiful design in my opinion. And you'll see its design soon once I get the sketch all done. This is real time, so it may take a little while before the sketch is done, but that's okay. I've got a lot to say anyway. I decided to lean into mostly the color scheme and the cute little spikes for this design rather than any other details. You'll see that as we get closer to the actual design. If you would like to see a proper photo of the beautiful designs that I created, you can check out my Instagram or even my TikTok, both of which will be linked below, so that way you can go follow me there if you would like. I am an up-and-coming designer. I am trying to make this my business and make it my career. So if you would like to support me on that journey, feel free to follow, like, subscribe, support me in any way, comment. But for now, back to the design. As you can see, I've started to sketch out the suit lining and details. I was trying to figure out how to do the collar, I believe. That's why I'm sitting there, not doing anything. I'm working on the pants now. We just want them not entirely tight-fitting. So we're adding a little extra, like, fabric lines around the legs, so that way they don't look like leggings. You'll see that I pause every so often to figure out what I'm doing. I am adding little spikes now to the design because they had a lot of really pretty cute little spikes. You can't see them that clearly in this video, but if you would like to see them more clearly, you can check out my Instagram or my TikTok or even my Tumblr, all of which will have photos of the finished designs for mermay. And once I finish designing the hat, I go back and add some details. I think for a bit before I add these details, but I go back through and add some black spots at the edges because I decided, or actually I'm fixing up lines now, but I do add black at the edges. I know that the seahorse is black more towards the center, but I thought for this suit it would look nicer if it was black towards the edges and purple towards the middle, because I really liked the purple. I'm biased though because purple is my favorite color. And as we get closer to the finished product of the design, which is just me adding the line where it separates as the pants from the shirt, we will color it in. And soon you'll see. So I also am thinking that the dress shirt underneath the jacket and the pants will be a black. Then I'm just really going in there to make sure that the buttons and line detailing make sense and are still present. Then I add the fade from the dark color up into what will eventually be purple, but for now it's just white. I add this on the pants, and I also add it on the sleeves. And from there, I grab the colored pencil that I'm going to use, which takes me a moment because I had to look for a good purple. But once I find it, I put the thing back and I begin to color in the suit. Starting off there, the hat remains purely purple. And I just start light and soon build up and make it much darker. And you'll see soon how dark it gets. Yep, right there, there's me darkening the beautiful purple, so that way it stands out against the collar of the jacket. And you'll see that I might go back in with my actual pencil to make sure that the black, it's not quite black, it's really just gray, but it will be black on the garment. to make sure that the fade looks nice. And once I color in the hat, I go back in to fix up some lines, fix up the fade, and then I color in the hat, and then we're all done. But for now, the fades. I really like how this outfit turned out in the end. I think it looks very dashing and is very eccentric, which is kind of what I'm going for. I really want to have a fashion brand that's fantastical, beautiful clothing that you wear for special occasions. I put the purple away before I colored in the hat because I was a little dumb and forgot about the hat. But now I'm just coloring that in, making sure that it's a nice deep purple like the suit. Just taking my time, going around making sure that I get the spikes on the top of the hat. And we're done. Moving on to the next outfit. It is themed on a different fish from the seahorse. This one is themed on the anglerfish. So you just see me sketch out the head, and this one's going to be a cloak. So we're just sketching the head, and we are not actually going to do much for the body because I saw an opportunity to skip over making the body after I started a bit and just made the cloak and some feet. And we draw a nice hood that just covers the face just because I thought it looked cooler for design purposes. It probably won't actually cover your face if I make it into a garment. And we're doing the beautiful anglerfish light. And from there I just shade in the whole thing. I don't really know why I erased those lines. I really didn't need to. I think it was mostly for my brain. And then, I start shading in the entire piece after I finish making the little button that won't even really be visible. And I tried to make a little light around the thing because I do want to make the anglerfish's bait thing glow in the dark. Because I'm not sure I can make it glow otherwise, but I think it would be really, really pretty if I could get it to glow in the dark. And then this cloak would be a cool little nighttime wear. Or like something fun in the dark. I take yellow to make the glow halo around to symbolize that it glows. Because trying to do it with gray just, it didn't look right. So I added the yellow. And now I'm finally shading in the whole thing. I do end up deciding that I don't want the whole thing to be black and that I want the bottom to also be like see-through, like the fins. So that's what I do, is I later erase, and I'm going to make it see-through and possibly make it glow in the dark too. But I would have to get glow in the dark fabric that was clear, so we'll see how that goes. As I continue just shading, I am working on this video. We're shading even more, and we continue to shade. We shade all the way to the bottom, even though I'm going to change that design element a little later. But it's okay to change design elements. It's okay. It's actually usually pretty cool when you change design elements. But we're just continuing to shade. It takes quite some time to finish shading this. This was a quicker design, but I think it looks cool nonetheless. It also would probably be a quicker make than some of the other designs that I have in mind, but I think it looks pretty cool nonetheless. And now you see that I'm considering something. I believe I looked up an anglerfish and was looking at it a bit more because I thought this cloak was a little too plain. And then I noticed that their fins are basically see-through and that they also glow. Or at least in this picture it looks like it glows. And so I decided in the end to erase the bottom a little bit and make it seem, I didn't add the glowing part, but I did make it seem vaguely see-through. And that's where you can see me finally starting to erase and pat to try and get a gradient from my eraser. I go in and fix it a little bit. Fill in the lines and then erase. And then we'll re-add the feet. I stare at it for a little while before I move on to the next one. The next one is a dress. So this one is based off the betta fish, and I really liked this red one with the white at the ends of the fins. So that's the color scheme we went for this one. I say we as if I have a design team. I just do this all myself. But as you can see, currently I'm just sketching out the body and working on the bodice. Instead of actually doing the legs, I just go right for the skirt. I made the skirt too short the first time because I wanted it to be like more like a ball gown and not like a Lolita skirt. Although I do love Lolita. I would design some Lolita outfits. But I wanted it to be more like a ball gown. So I switched over to the arms because I didn't like how the skirt went. And I also wanted to ensure that the arms made sense against the skirt. And you'll see that I'm very slowly sketching the skirt this time around, just to ensure that it goes better this time. I'm looking up the betta fish, I believe. Just to ensure that I have a good idea of how, like, flouncy and beautiful and majestic these fish are. So that way I could translate that into my dress. And it takes a little while, but soon I'm back into it, and I am sketching the skirt. I also erase the line from the previous skirt so that way it doesn't look visible. And as I continue, I don't erase any of the sketch lines, though I probably should have. It didn't seem necessary at the time, mostly because this isn't meant to be like a super finished piece, super gorgeous or anything. It's just supposed to be like a concept piece to get the vision across and to allow me to see a somewhat visual version. Well, it is visual, but like a somewhat finished version of what I want in a visual manner. Besides, just the visuals in my head. And I start sketching the skirt again, making sure that it's nice and wide and frilly. Well, not really frilly, just very, very wide. Which will mean that I will likely have to wear either a hoop skirt or a petticoat, or maybe both, to ensure that the dress reaches its full volume. Now we're just like sketching the little hands, and then we make some sleeves. After making the sleeves, I just look at it for a little while, try to decide how I feel about it. And soon I pick out a red to color in the beautiful red that goes along with the white. Yep, I'm picking out the red now. I leave the sleeves pure white, and then the dress is mostly red, but the bottom part it fades into white. Just like this beautiful fish picture that I have on screen. And I do that to try and blend it out a little. Because I do want it to be a fade and not just a straight red to white kind of thing. I just want it to be a little fade. And then, we finish coloring in the nice red everywhere else before finishing up the fade. And as soon as I finish the fade, we're done. And we are nearing the finish line here as I fade the dress a little. And voila, we're done. I considered making another design, but I did not in the end. So that's all there is for you today. I hope to see you in the next video, and feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other social medias, whatever you want to do to help support me on this journey of creating my own fashion brand. I will see you soon. Bye!